Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you see this. This is weekend morning for me. And let's ease it back a little bit with another one of my, for sure, favorite probably top 5 prog bands of all time. And that would be Jethro Tull. And they definitely have a special place in my heart pretty much since I started listening to music and first heard Jethro Tull. It was something where, just different people, different bands mean different things to each person. And this one sort of had a much more like introspective and not the loud guitars or many instruments all sort of shouting at you. It was more like, hey, step into this small room for a second. Let me whisper to you some words of wisdom. And that was Jethro Tull. So what we're going to do, we'll jump right into this tune. This was released on March 19th, 1971. And like I said, we're going to ease it back a little bit. They've obviously got a diverse number of sounds and styles. But on this one, I started to really connect with their softer sound. And that is their flute, more acoustic guitar. I like their harder stuff too, but sometimes it's a little abrasive when the electric comes in. But anyway, this is Ian Anderson on flute, acoustic guitar and vocal, Clive Bunker on drums and percussion, John Evans on piano, organ, mellotron, Jeffrey Hammond on bass, and Martin Barr on electric guitar. And I'm not sure if Martin Barr is on this. I think he is, but a little sporadically. But this one is called Mother Goose. Here we go.
As I did walk by Hampstead Fair, I came upon Mother Goose. So I turned her loose as she was screaming. And a foreign student said to me, was it really true? There are elephants and lions too in Piccadilly Circus. Walked down by the bathing pond to try and catch some sun. Saw at least 100 schoolgirls sobbing into handkerchiefs as one. I don't believe they knew I was a schoolboy. And the bearded lady said to me, if you start your raving and you're misbehaving, you'll be sorry. And the chicken fancier came to play with his long red beard and his sister's witch. She drives a lorry. Left down by the potting green, I popped him in their hose. 4 and 20 labourers were labouring and digging up their gold. I don't believe they knew that I was Long John Silver.
Okay, gotta pause it. I'll rewind it and to get back into it. But yeah, I just this is just the most this is like the beauty that is Jethro Tull's acoustic side. And you had the harmony flutes in the beginning, coming from both sides, almost like you think of like the Renaissance, and the horns all lined up, all sort of blasting in unison. And because you hear from both sides, you kind of see them visually And then right there, yeah, it's also doing like his voice harmony. You can hear him doing in this here. You can hear the other voice, which really only in headphones. Yeah, you don't notice all those things. So it's interesting to hear all the little parts. And then you got the sort of percussion, the real light percussion on the sides. And that's it. And yeah, this puts me in a place of just peace and just beauty. But just I love the music. I love the guitar sound, the acoustic guitar sound. So I love, like, if I could put all of Jethro Tull's acoustic stuff, all side by side, I feel like it's just one of the most enjoyable experiences. And his voice, the tone of his voice, like it's got this sort of rough, but also really, when he does the lighter part, when he sort of takes away the grit, it's very airy. So he has both, and that's something where I never grew up. I've always been in sort of vocal between heaven and hell, purgatory. Yeah, I've always been in like a vocal purgatory with my trying to sing along with things that I was doing. Whether I was trying to sing Jethro Tull, mostly there for my guitar playing, but always also trying to just, stand in for, whatever was happening vocally or melodically. But it's been really, I feel like purgatory. Like it's always could be really bad, could be, decent. And I've always tried to just get better and just stand in, just be, satisfying at least. But Jethro Tull has always been one that I found my voice sort of just can mold into easier than others. For whatever reason, I just feel like it must be somewhere in his range, so it's just a little bit easier to jump into. So I've always, appreciated in that sense that I can inhabit that, his tone and his melody and phrasing and stuff, and trying to do the guitar at the same time. So yeah, for those reasons, Jethro Tull is just like a hand in glove for me. It just is such a great, emotionally and spiritually. Anyway, that's a lot. I'm going to go back a little bit and let's finish this out. Mother Goose.
Johnny Scarecrow make his rounds in his Jet's black Mac, which he won't to get back, stole it from a snowman. As I did walk by Hampstead Fair, I came upon Mother Goose, so I turned her loose as she was screaming. Try and catch some sun. Must have been at least 100 schoolgirls sobbing into handkerchiefs as one. I don't believe they knew I was a schoolboy.
So yeah, that was on Aqualung, and obviously Aqualung has, I think every song on Aqualung, people find it, moving and such a masterpiece of an album. And it's got no shortage of acoustic pieces on there. So, and those are some of my favorites. I just think there's great compositions. So, what did we have? Yeah, so we had. This one peaked at number 7 on the Billboard North American Pop Albums chart. That's Aqualung. And the single Hymn 43 hit number 91 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. I mean, that's amazing in itself. Yeah, it's wonderful to see these groups sort of crack into the, just for audience, just to get their sounds out there. Cheap Day Return, Wondering Aloud, Slipstream are short, completely acoustic bridges, and Mother Goose is almost all acoustic, except for those electric guitar, just sort of one chord, sort of resounding. Anderson claims his main inspirations for writing the album were Roy Harper and Bert Jansch. So, yeah, for sure. It sounds like, a strong acoustic influence on there. Bert Jansch, I haven't heard too much of him. I know he was a big, Jimmy Page also had, I think it was Black Mountainside, was a Bert Jansch song, or that's where he got the idea from, some of the ideas in that song. It said, Ian Anderson has said people would kind of dress up and be endowed with the blessings of the summer sun. This is regarding the Mother Goose, the sort of visual lyrics and things like that. So I remember it as being a pageantry of color. People were wearing lots of colorful clothes. It is indeed a kind of slightly surreal but interesting pastiche of topics. People probably scratch their heads listening to it thinking, who is Johnny Scarecrow? As far as the overall, the lyrical content and the sort of image and the imagery it was sort of portraying were him going down into the square there in England, and sort of, all the things he would see, and all the people and all the colors and the sort of symbolic of that. So as far as Ian Anderson in America, he said he hated the country at first. I really didn't want to know. It distressed me to see so many kids taking drugs. But after playing 4 nights a week, suddenly my attitudes changed. America became the place to play, and England was where I wanted to live. From the summer of 70 through the end of the year, writing the music and recording, it was an experience, being an album that suffered a little bit from production to problems in the then brand new studio, that Island Records. They had built from a converted church. As far as his the content of this album and the meaning of his sort of, yes, does Ian regard this new album as an outright attack on religion? And he said, I don't regard it as an out-and-out attack. Basically, it's a reflection of my feelings towards the concept of God, largely as a result of having been brought up relatively free of religious pressures, and the fact that I have always felt it to be morally wrong for children to be brought up in today's social climate with God as a social crutch. So that's a little bit on Jethro Tull of that period. Let's shine a light to some of the ones that, put in so much effort, so much musical ability, and maybe didn't get the immediate credit or longevity that other groups did. So that's what we're here to do. So anyway, I appreciate you all coming here. Please, any comments would be, love to hear them. Love to hear your opinions on other groups, on these groups, if you heard them, stuff you heard recently that you didn't know, any stories, of your, how you approached this genre, or that time of music. So again, appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.